everyone, I hope you're doing well. In today's video I'm going to do some more Murdle puzzles. I think we're onto the medium ones now, so hopefully they get a little bit harder. Not sure where. Yeah, I think we did, yeah. I can't be bothered to read all that, so I'm not going to. Okay, number 26. I don't know if you'll be able to read that, but I'm going to read them out anyway. So, the murder of a mailman. Deductive Logico went to check his P.O. box, but instead of finding a royalty check for Murdle, he found that a mailman had been killed, and the whole place was closed. Neither rain nor shine, thought Logico, but they close at first sign of murder. So, our suspects are Dr. Crimson. She's the smartest doctor she's ever met, according to her, and she's probably right. Yeah, her diet is horrible, but if she has a heart attack, she'll operate on herself. 5'9", left-handed, green eyes, red hair, and she's an Aquarius. Oh, that's new. I guess because of this. Okay. Then we have Mayor Honey. He knows where the bodies are buried, and he makes sure they always vote for him. He's 6 foot, left-handed, hazel eyes, light brown hair, and a Scorpio. And then General Coffee, an espresso connoisseur who prefers the smell of coffee to napalm in the morning. 6 foot, right-handed, dark brown eyes, bald, and a Sagittarius. And then our locations, we have the mail truck, indoors, practically indestructible, so it's great for joyrides, so long as you're not the one paying for gas. The long line, outdoors, people standing in line waiting to mail their letters. And the sorting room, indoors, where the postal workers sort the junk mail, bills and catalogues using a great machine. And then we have our 3 weapons, so a letter opener, lightweight, a sharp knife used by people who won't just rip their letters open, a stamp, medium weight, a stamp for stamping over stamps, and a heavy package, heavyweight, with a nice red ribbon that will conceal blood stains. I'm a little far away, so I'm struggling to read some of the writing. Okay, we don't have very many clues and evidence. Letter openers were not allowed in the sorting room ever since the incident, and that rule was not broken today. So the letter opener was not in the sorting room. The suspect with the heavy package was self-conscious about their boldness and would prefer it not to be mentioned in clues. So that's General Coffee, and he has the heavy package. Statements. Remember, the murderer is lying, the others are telling the truth. Dr. Crimson, I brought a stamp. Mayor Honey, Dr. Crimson was not in a mail truck. And General Coffee, a letter opener, was in the mail truck. Oh, I hate this. Okay. So only one of these can be true. I just feel like we don't know a lot of information. We know that the letter opener was not in the sorting room. So the letter opener could be in the mail truck. And Dr. Crimson, so that would mean that General Coffee was in the mail truck, which would mean that Dr. Crimson was not in the mail truck. So does that mean that Dr. Crimson is lying? I brought a stamp. Because in that case, he would have had the letter opener. Right? And if it wasn't in the was not in the mail truck. So Dr. Crimson wasn't in the mail truck, so didn't have the so that means that he would have had the stamp, so that would mean that all three were correct. So it's either Mayor Honey or General Coffee lying in that instance. Okay, so if Dr. Crimson brought the stamp, then that would mean that the mayor had the letter opener, and then if Dr. Crimson was not in the mail truck, let's do a square for no, then that would mean that the letter opener was, because, oh wait, no. So that would mean that the Dr. Crimson had to have been in the sorting room, because wait, I'm getting fucked up again. This is hard. Okay. So the heavy package. Wait, who's not in? The letter opener is not in the sorting room. So, right, that means Mayor Honey wouldn't have been in the sorting room. So Mayor Honey had to have been in the long line. Okay. So that would mean that General Coffee was lying. Okay, so we've got one liar in that instance. I think I'm going to mess this up. I think this is going to be wrong, but okay. So that would be General Coffee. So let's try if just Mayor Honey. I don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest. I'm sorry you have to watch this. Right. So Dr. Crimson was not in the mail truck. So if Dr. Crimson wasn't in the mail truck, and Dr. Crimson brought the stamp, wait. So we're doing that Mayor Honey is lying, so he was in there, and so this one was true, so he brought the stamp. That would mean the stamp was in the mail truck, so the letter opener would have to be in the line, so that would mean that two people were lying. So I think General Coffee is lying. So let's go back to, I've got to do this again, right? So we're doing that he's lying, so Dr. Crimson brought the stamp, and he wasn't in the mail truck. Oh, I can tick these, my bad. God, this paper is going to be ruined. means that Dr. Crimson was not in the mail truck. Yeah. So that means that General Coffee is lying, so the letter opener isn't in the mail truck either. Which means the letter opener is in the line. And if the murderer is lying, then it's obviously General. Got my writing? Coffee. Okay. So it's with the heavy package. I'm just going to put package. So we just need to find out where he is. I'm sorry, I feel like this is so all over the place. Okay. And the stamp isn't in the mailroom again. So that means that the heavy package had to be in the truck. Okay. Watch that be completely wrong. So 26. 26. Oh, thank God. So it was General Coffee with the heavy package in the mail truck. A good soldier admits when he's defeated. General Coffee admitted, but Logico wasn't listening. He was reading a letter he'd received. It still wasn't his royalty check. It was an invitation asking him to travel across the world to a mysterious place called the Investigation Institute and meet with their president. And it made a great argument. Money. Okay. Hopefully I won't mess up the next one. Okay, so number 27. A mysterious murder in the mysterious woods. Driving through the mysterious woods gave Detective Logico the chills, but maybe that was because his AC was on full blast. Pretty soon he had to pull over, partially to solve the murder of a hitchhiker, and partially because his car died. Suspects: Coach Raspberry, one of the best coaches this side of the Mississippi, regardless of which side you're on. 6 foot, left-handed, blue eyes, blonde hair, and an Aries. Officer Copper. The best part of being a policewoman criminal is that you can cut out the middleman and fail to investigate your own crimes. 5'5", right-handed, blue eyes, blonde hair, and Aries. Grandmaster Rose. A chess grandmaster who is always plotting his next move, like how to bump off his next opponent. 1E5. 5'7", left-handed, dark brown eyes, dark brown hair, and a Scorpio. So the locations: the Skull Rock, outdoors. A rock that looks like a skull. Is it natural or did someone carve it? The ancient ruins, outdoors. Wherever these stones appear, you know somebody is getting murdered nearby. The only road, outdoors. A twisting, winding, half-paved road through the woods. And then our 3 weapons: a shovel, medium weight, a multi-use tool. Kill someone and bury them with the same shovel. A ritual dagger, medium weight. It's made out of some ancient metal that Logico can't identify. And a poisonous spider, lightweight. Its unusual webbing shows it's not native to these woods. Okay. Clues and evidence. Logico caught a glimpse of the suspect with the shovel, but all he could see was his eyes weren't blue. So that's Grandmaster Rose. So they have the shovel. A poisonous spider was not on the only road. So the spider wasn't on the road. Okay. Here we go. Remember, the murderer is lying, the others are telling the truth. Grandmaster Rose, you must study the moves of the pieces. For example, Officer Copper was at the Skull Rock. You know what, I'm going to get a pencil because I think when I use the pen on this to rub out, it messes it up, so 1 second. Okay, so Officer Copper was at Skull Rock, which would mean that the others aren't. I need to cross this out. Okay. Coach Raspberry, well, by golly, a shovel was at the ancient ruins. So that would mean that Grandmaster Rose was at the ancient ruins. However, that can't be the case because... Wait, no, can it? My statement, I brought a poisonous spider. Yeah, that can't all be correct because if he bought the poisonous spider, he wouldn't be at the road. So, that means that either Grandmaster Rose or the Officer Copper is lying in this instance. So let's do it if Coach Raspberry was lying. So the shovel wasn't at the ancient ruins. So that would mean that Grandmaster Rose wasn't at the ancient ruins. So you must study. Officer Copper was at Skull Rock. That's the coach, not the officer. Which would mean that Grandmaster Rose was at the road. Officer Copper brought the spider. So that would work. So I think the person lying is Raspberry. So what did they bring? So they were at the ancient ruins. So then what did they bring? The dagger. I feel like that's wrong. Right, Raspberry, dagger, ruins for 27. Oh, I forget there's clues. Carved into an oak that was already dead was a note that read, Grandmaster on the road. Okay, I feel like we're getting there then. So 27. It was Coach Raspberry with the ritual dagger in the ancient ruins. Oh, thank God. Okay. Members of the detective club were called in to escort him away. They towed Logico's car away too, and they drove him the rest of the way to the Investigation Institute. Coach Raspberry's final statement was recorded as this: "Well, dang, you got me." Okay, I'll do one more. Just because I don't know how long this is going to take me, and I don't want to make the video too long. Investigation at the Investigation Institute. Arriving at the Investigation Institute grounds, Detective Logico was shocked by their budget. Their grounds had a hedge maze, an observatory, even a miniature golf course. This place could have hired half the detectives in the world. Why him, and who killed the groundskeeper? Cryptozoologist Cloud. He knows every sighting of Bigfoot, Yeti, Sasquatch, and also what the difference is. 5'7", right-handed, grey eyes, white hair, and Scorpio. Herbalist Onyx. In her greenhouse, she's grown every kind of plant required in the culinary, magic, and poisonous arts. Or poisoning, sorry. 5 foot, right-handed, dark brown eyes, black hair, and Virgo. Chef Aubergine. It is said that she once killed her husband, cooked him, and then served him at a restaurant. It's not true, but just the fact that it's said about her tells you something. 5'2", right-handed, blue eyes, blonde hair, and a Libra. So the locations: an impossible hedge maze, outdoors. This was designed by the legendary MC Escher, so good luck getting out. The observatory, indoors, for studying the stars or having a romantic evening or committing a murder. And then the miniature golf course, outdoors, 18 holes featuring windmills, caves, and loop-de-loops, the works. So the weapons, a quasi-perpetual motion machine, heavyweight. It doesn't run forever, more like 2 or 3 minutes. A dowsing rod, medium weight. You can find water, oil and suckers with this. Hypoallergenic oil, lightweight. You read that right. Everyone is deathly allergic to this. Clues and evidence. The second tallest suspect brought hypoallergenic oil. So the second tallest. So that's Chef Aubergine. Okay. It turns out that Libra was at the 17th hole when the murder was committed. So that is Chef Aubergine. What the fuck did I just draw? Why did I just do that? Okay. So, let's go to the lies. So, a dowsing rod was not in a hedge maze. A quasi-perpetual motion machine was not in the observatory. And the herbalist Onyx brought a quasi-perpetual motion machine. Okay. So let's go that Cloud was lying. So the dowsing rod was not in the hedge maze. So the dowsing rod was in the hedge maze. So that's this, isn't it? Yeah. So if that was in the hedge maze. And the other two were telling the truth, so the quasi-perpetual motion machine was not in the observatory. This was not in the observatory. Which is that? And that would mean that it was in... Wait. The oil was in the hedge. So this is also true. Right? Yeah, so that doesn't work. So Cloud has to be telling the truth. That's right, isn't it? Because if Chef Aubergine has the oil and they are in the golf course, then that means that the oil is in the golf. Yeah, okay. So Cloud is telling the truth. So let's do if Onyx is lying. So it was not in the observatory, so that means it was in the observatory. Which would work, so that would mean that the dowsing rods were in the maze. Onyx brought the machine. So that would mean, see, you brought the machine. Which would mean that Cloud brought the dowsing rods. And if the machine was in the observatory, then that would mean that Onyx was in the observatory and Cloud was in the maze. So that all works. So if they're lying, then these two are telling the truth. Okay, that works, but just to make sure, I'm gonna do the last one. So if Aubergine is lying, then Onyx did not bring the machine. So Onyx didn't bring the machine. So that meant that they brought the dowsing rod. So if they're lying, then these two have to be telling the truth. So the dowsing rod was not in the hedge maze. So that means the dowsing rod was in the observatory. And so that means that onyx is in the observatory. Which means that Cloud is in the hedge maze. With the machine. A dowsing rod was not in the hedge maze. So does that work then? Okay, let me check the clue. 28. They had a person at the institute whose job was to solve mysteries physically, and that person confidently declared the herbalist Onyx was at the observatory. Okay. So Aubergine is lying then. So it's Aubergine with, I keep forgetting who everyone is, with the oil at the golf course. Okay. 28. Okay. It was Chef Aubergine with hyperallergenic oil in the miniature golf course. I should have cooked you, strange man, she replied, which was basically a confession. Once Logico had solved that, he went up to the chateau and knocked on the door. Nobody answered. The door just creaked open by itself. So that's right. Okay. These are definitely harder. I don't really like all the, God, this is like really messed up. I don't like the statements bit. It's too difficult. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this video, even if it was a bit frustrating.